So moving forward, in this session, we are going to learn about how to insert new rows in an already created data set in MS Access. And we are also going to learn how can we selectively insert values in some columns for a new row for a table. So the basic syntax for inserting values is as I have presented over here, and it begins with the insert into clause. And after insert into, you need to type in the name of the table that is going to be used to insert values into. And in the bracket, you need to mention the names of the columns which they need to have new values. And in the next line, you need to type in values. And in bracket, you need to type in the values for all of the variables which you have mentioned over here. So let's take a quick example of this in MS Access. So right now I have a sample table prepared over here. It does not have any row as such in the beginning, and it has three variables. The first one being the first name, second being the last name, and third being the salary variable. So I've written up an insert into clause over here. So as usual, I have typed in insert into, and the next after insert into, I have typed in the name of the table in which I want to insert the values. Then in the bracket, I have mentioned the variable into which I need to insert the values into. And in the next line, I type in values, and in brackets, I give a certain value to the variable which I have typed in over here. So let's try running this query and see what changes does it bring to the table that is being used over here. So after hitting the run clause, you need to press yes over here. And so when you would go on to, so we first need to close this up because it won't be automatically updated. So double clicking on the sample table over here, we get a new row that has been added into the sample table. And it tells us that since we introduced new value for the first name variable only, so the variable first name has been updated with the value of George, but the values of last name and salary remain as such. And we're going to learn how to introduce values to these variables in the later part of this session. So say I want to change up this query, and I want to now give a value only to the last name. So I go by changing in the code and by changing in the column name in which I want to insert the value into in the sample table, and I want to give it a value of Lucas. So the moment I will run this query, need to press the yes button. So there you go. So a new row has been inserted which has a blank value for first name and salary, but still it has the value of Lucas for the last name. Now probably it could have been a misconception that the individual must have thought that the value of Lucas would be added to the first row itself. Well, that is not the case. And whenever each time you run the insert into statement, it is going to insert a new row in your table. So instead of this, if we wanted to update the whole of the variable, so the whole of the row in a data set, so we can completely ignore this bracket portion over here that comes after the name of the table which needs to be updated, and then we need to type in the values of the variables in the exact sequence as it appears in the sample table. So I'm going to begin with by typing in a value of George, then comma, then which is the first, then I need to type in the last name, and then I need to type in the salary. So say it's $98,765. So the moment I will run this query, I'm expecting a new row would be created where the value of first name would be George, the value of last name would be Lucas, and the salary would be 98765. So let's try running this. So clicking the yes button. So there you go. So a new row has been inserted in which all of the three variables have been updated with their values. Now this happened because we have selectively ignored this bracket portion after the sample table in which we used to write the name of the variables which needs to be updated. So automatically SQL guessed that George is the value that needs to be assigned to the first name. Lucas is the name word that needs to be assigned to the last name, and 98765 is the value that needs to be assigned to salary. So this is the way you insert data into your table that has been created in MS Access. Hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for watching.